You know what I'm doing right now, Big Z?
What's up?
Are we live streaming on YouTube right now?
Right now, we're
Look at
there,
me,
man.
YouTube. YouTube, look at me. I'm riding the roller coaster of playoff baseball races, and it's taking me all
Ooh,
over, Big Z. It's taking me all over. I'm going down, I'm going up, I'm going side to side, baby. It's going crazy. It's going
crazy,
crazy, Big
bro. It's
Z.
so crazy. The
The
Tigers. What?
Tigers, dog. The
That's
Tigers. Let me tell you something, Detroit. I know you're a football town right now because you think the Lions are going to win the Super Bowl, which they're not because you got Jared Goff as a quarterback. But you got a legitimate baseball team. Okay. There
oh
are no
yeah.
accidents in the American League. There's not. The American League has been stacked all year long, and your guys are doing it. And for all
Doing
intents
it.
and purposes, to me and Big Z, it's locked up.
It's
Good
all
job.
it's pretty much locked up. I mean, just that just shows you proof how great baseball is that the Tigers are going to be in the playoffs this year. And last
Mm.
year they lost so many games. This is and the Royals who won 56 games last year. I love it. The playoff wave, playoff race wave. Woo, woo, woo.
The roller coaster, Big Z, the playoff roller coaster, ups and downs, side to side, baby. Can't make this up. Hope you guys are doing good. YouTube, you
Yeah,
know.
guys. You guys doing good? You guys surviving out there, working hard? I hope so. I hope you're grinding like we grind every
By the
single
way,
day.
peep my quote. I feel God in this Chili's tonight. Pam,
Pam. Mine
little
is
exclusive for
do or
YouTube.
do not. There is no try. Yoda.
Oh, I'm gonna have so many office quotes, like just
I'm gonna have a
office
lot of
quote on
Star Wars
office
quotes.
quotes
As you
as we like
guys
do this.
could tell, we're nerds.
Couple of dorks.
A couple of dorks, but we love it.
That's
So
what we do.
don't hate. Don't hate.
That is what we do. It
We're
is who
bringing
we
you in,
are.
guys. We're bringing you into some more stuff. We're kind of peeling back the curtain a little bit more every single time of who we are.
Mm.
We're big dorks.
Big old dorks. I have read, if you didn't know this, fun fact, I've read Lord of the Rings, audio or book for the last like 5 years without fail, every book. So,
Dude,
what's up?
that's awesome. That is insanely awesome.
Yeah.
I wrote my own Star Wars book once.
Oh my God, release it to the public. People need to know, Big Z.
Never. I'll never do that.
Does anybody kiss their sister?
That's a that's not a question we need to answer right now. But
So, did they deviate? Did you deviate from the original Star Wars lore? No, no
no,
sister,
not in
no
that,
sister, brother,
not in
love.
that, not in that book I
Do
wrote.
you ever, do you ever like, do you ever watch Star Wars and like when you were little, like it just we just glazed over it. Like
Yeah.
we never thought about it. We never contemplated
I
that. We are just sort of like, oh,
I
that's yeah,
think
it's
that was I think that was just like a I don't know, a big mess up on George Lucas's end. I don't think at that point in time he actually meant for them to be siblings. There's no
right,
way.
right. No, I mean, there's no way. There's no way. And we know it was fluid, right? Like, go listen to all the podcasts and
Yeah.
all theories, which I personally do subscribe to. That Jar Jar may have been the ultimate Sith Lord.
Oh, 100%. I think it. I You know what? This is the problem. Before like toxic fandom even like occurred, like nowadays there's so many toxic things in Twitter and canceling. It happened to Jar Jar Binks, dude, in 1999. That it happened. It was like one of the first things that ever got canceled was Jar Jar Binks from the Star Wars fandom, one of the most toxic fan bases ever. And poor George Lucas had to change course, and we got a way worse version, though a great version, still a way worse version than freaking Jar Jar Binks being the ultimate Phantom Menace.
He
You
would have
know?
done it. He would have killed it. I mean, I like
Oh,
Darth Maul. I like Darth Maul, but I like the idea that he was perhaps behind Darth Maul, and then you don't
behind
find out.
Sidious.
Right? Yeah, maybe you don't even find out. Like the rule of twos was that after it. Because like George, a lot of people like George he was pretty much making this up, right? Like as he went on, like he was just
Oh, this
making this
is
up.
yeah. It's based off. It's not based off anything. It's based off his mind, dude. He made it all up, 100%.
So
So
either
he could do he could do
was
whatever he
into
wants.
some, yeah, either he was into sibling love or he didn't know. There's only two options, Big Z.
He didn't know. There's no way. I choose to subscribe to that opinion because I don't want it just to be to be ruined. I
I
don't.
100% agree. No, I 100% agree. And I think it makes a lot of sense. Like I think
Yes.
I think it was a great plot twist. And I think when it happened, it was just like, you know what, dude? It is what it is. This is my thing.
Right.
I'm doing what I want to do. You
Yeah.
know?
And yeah. It's just it was so he was just so confident about it, just like whatever. It's all good.
He was
Like
like, dude, you know
like
what?
I'm
This
not
is
even
the
gonna mention this.
70s. This is the
Yeah,
70s. Anything goes, baby.
that's right. And people were like, all right, no problem. No
Brotherly
problem.
love. Brotherly love.
Well, like people glazed over it because of like, I'm your father, Darth Vader, revealing to Luke at
Just
the
the most
end.
messed up family thing.
Yeah,
Just the
just
most
like a weird
messed
family
up
dynamic, but people were
family
so
tree.
like, what happened in that? By the time episode 6 came around and Luke and Leia, now their siblings, like people forgot about that because of the revelation that Vader was his
No, you know
father.
why we notice is because we're nerds. So like I'll sit there and watch them in one sitting.
Right.
Like if we get hyped and we got nothing to do on a Saturday, like dude, when winter comes and it's like
Oh yeah.
sick time, Christmas is past, so we can't just binge Christmas movies. That's like January. We're like sitting there on a Saturday, everybody's sick. Like, dude, all 3 movies back to back to back.
Oh yeah.
And that's
Right.
when you notice it. You're like, wait a minute.
That
Wait a minute.
that wait a minute. Something's weird.
Hold
Something's
on.
off.
Hold on.
Hold
Hold
on.
on. We're not gonna glaze over this. Hold on. All right, let's get the podcast going.
All
I think we've
right.
given you I think we've let you behind the curtain quite a bit tonight. So
And that's okay. We love it. We love you guys. Boom, boom, boom. Oh, what is this? That's our transcripts. You guys can have a transcript of our podcast on Apple Podcasts if you'd like.
yes. I need to work on my enunciation. I wonder how my enunciation is. Like I've never read our transcripts.
It's actually really very accurate. I've read it. It's
Will
very
it-
accurate. Yes.
Will it say accurate like you just said, or will it say
Accurate.
accurate?
Accurate.
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 When
Whatever.
something's beyond accurate, it's
Shush.
accurate. It's
Shush.
accurate. You just heard it here first, dude. We just made a word. We just made a
That's
word.
right. Add it to the Merriam-Webster dictionary.
The
right now.
combination of accurate and elite. Accurate.
Boom.
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 That's a great word. Tell me that's not a great word. What is up, everybody? We are leaving that in because if you don't already, you've got to check out our YouTube. You have to go over there and look, okay? I know you're probably driving, or maybe you're just, you're commuting, whatever you're doing. Maybe you're on a train somewhere. Maybe you're just sitting at home, you're doing a cup of coffee. Listen, you got to check out our YouTube because we just did the baseball roller coaster and we were talking all sorts of stuff. All right. We let you behind the curtain on YouTube. That's where it goes down,
Right.
Big Z. That's where it goes back down.
It does. That's why the YouTube is awesome. It's elite, accurate, elite, accurate.
But
you know what? We're not going to explain to them what that is because they got to go to the YouTube.
go
Subscribe.
to the YouTube.
Figure it out. Go watch us because there's some fun stuff. You get to know some weird sides of us. So how you doing, man?
First of all, I'm doing good, but is it YouTube or the YouTube? I feel like we put a the in front of most of our social media.
It's
go
because,
follow us on the Twitter.
It's because we are old men.
We are not cool.
And we still don't know, like we completely grasp how to use the YouTube or the Twitter or the Instagram.
Right.
But we're figuring it out as we go, but it's the YouTube still.
Oh,
and it always will be.
I will not apologize for this. I am watching the Dodgers in the background. We are live. We are here, not live. We're here. Well, we are kind of live. Like live goes out to the YouTube. Again, go check out the YouTube. It's we don't edit it. It's unfiltered. All right. This
Unfiltered.
Is us.
Love.
So the Dodgers are playing the Padres right now, and it is to clinch the West. I know you're thinking, oh gosh, here we go with the Dodgers fans. Listen, I know we're probably going to choke in the first round. All right. I'm a realistic Dodgers fan. It's all right. Listen, I'm doing great. The pools have started to make a comeback. I'm not going to lie. It's been nice. The ash, we finally, we got through it. Here's the one thing that's kind of gross. Those of you who don't know, I clean pools. That's what I do. I have my own pool cleaning business. There are a ton. If you have a pool, do not open your skimmer. Pay somebody to go open it because chances are there's a dead rodent in there. I'm not going to lie to you. When there's like fires and stuff, they come on down. They see this nice big puddle. Like I'm going to drink from this puddle. They lean too far in and all of a sudden can't get out. So they just float right into that skimmer and you can tell they've been there for a week or a couple
Ugh.
days based on how bloated they are.
Oh,
So
gross.
yeah, it's really,
That's disgusting.
really disgusting. And
Gotta
oh,
love
those
it.
of you who don't know, snakes can survive for a long, long time in pools. Found another live snake the second time. I walked up to a pool. I was like, "Is that a snake?" And then I like went to net it. I was like, "Oh, it's moving. It's moving in my net. Sweet. So
Was
that's
it a
cool."
what kind of snake?
You know what? It's just like a little greenish snake. I really
Nice.
didn't. I literally kind of grabbed it and then just like threw it. Like I didn't really look at it. I literally just I was like, "Oh, that's moving," and just hucked it. Like I didn't. I did not take a moment.
See ya.
Yeah, I didn't take a moment to like. I didn't take
Oh
a
yeah.
moment to look at it at
Not
all.
get you're not gonna like do like a
No,
scientific like
no. Like the
research on
last
it.
snake, I like
Yeah.
like the couple weeks ago, like I didn't know it was dead, so like I pulled it in with my net. This time I was like, this may not be dead. So I just kind of threw my net at it and it started moving. I was like, oh God. So I just flicked it.
Ugh,
Just flicked it. So
so gross. So
yeah.
gross, bro.
Yeah. But so if you have a pool, be
Yeah.
aware. How you doing, Big Z?
Good man. Yeah, I am going through it this week with the sickness. We talked about it.
Yep.
It's got me. It got me. So I'm not the tail end of it though. So if you hear some coughing, it's just like that, that good old postnasal drift stuff. So yeah, it's great. It's good though. But uh this week has been kind of just a low key week with work. I haven't really gone out just because I've been sick. So a lot more time at the home office. Um yeah, just playing with Oliver when I get off. It's been fun. He's
Yeah.
been he's been into building towers with his blocks lately. And so, dude, the guy, I don't know where he gets it from because it's not for me, but like I feel like he's going to be an architect. Like he knows how to put little pieces, different pieces together to build really stable towers with these blocks, and it's awesome. So he's been into that every day. Little depressed today watching the A's play their last game in Oakland. Like that's just so weird to me. That I mean, not that we're A's fans, but it's like that's just like a symbol, like you
Yeah.
turn on if the A's are on, they're playing in the
Yeah.
Coliseum. And so I've got to watch that. That was pretty cool. And they sold out the stadium probably, I think, for the first time this year on the last day.
Wow.
But it is sad, and it like to see all those fans, like how much actually means to them, and it just shows you
Yeah.
like the power of sports. It like, and again, like people are like, oh, it's just sports, but sports bring people together. Sports bring communities together, and for that specific community of Oakland to have the Warriors, the Raiders, and now the A's ripped away from you like that, it just sucks. And so you just feel for those guys, all those people, because like in LA, like we have everything. No, people come to LA, like teams come here, flock here
Yeah.
because it's such a good market. But so yeah, that was a bummer, but it made me happy. I went in June. That was pretty cool. So yeah, man, just a good week. Exciting that loving that exciting roller coaster playoff race train that we're
Yes,
on,
sir.
and watching a little of the NFL tonight. It was good to see Danny Dimes looking decent. Dak
Yeah.
looking and same old, same old. So it's good.
It wasn't an impressive win. It wasn't an impressive win for the Cowboys. We'll get into that in a little bit. It's kind of
Yeah.
it was weird to watch because Daniel, I thought he did enough to where I mean there was a couple really I mean right off the gate their first drive like just a phantom face mask that just killed momentum. It just
Right.
refs they need to figure it out. I don't know what's going on, but let's jump into the NFL. We're gonna start with last week. Obviously, we were able to cover at least one of the games that took place, the Thursday night game last week. So we'll cover that one. We'll skip over that. Week 3, Big Z, our teams meet.
They did.
Battle of the Hurt
Game
teams.
one. Game
Niners,
one.
Rams.
Niners,
Ha
Rams. And you guys now have the win streak. It's now at 2. You know?
Yes.
What were we at? Like 7 in a row, 8 in a row?
And it was a lot.
13?
It was a lot. We were making constant jokes about how Shanahan is just Shanny's in there just playing a game of what if all over McVay's head.
Right.
And,
Except for the playoffs. Except for the playoffs.
Except for the playoffs.
Yes.
Playoffs is, it's a little bit different, but
Yeah.
Hey, it was a hard fought game. And I got to say, before I give kudos to my Rams, if you didn't watch this game, Brock Purdy balled.
You did.
He balls. He looked fantastic. He was running. He was making good throws. Even though he targeted one receiver 10 times, who dropped the ball quite a few times, he still looks fantastic.
He truly does. I mean, and that was like the thing, it's his whole career, 2 years. It's well, what's Brock without Debo? What's Brock without Kittle and CMC and all of his weapons? And so CMC was out, Debo was out, Kittle was out. Ayuk is half of the version of Ayuk. He got paid and he just kind of shrunk into nothing. And so who do you got? Jawan Jennings. And he made Jawan Jennings look like a superstar
Yeah.
and made Jawan Jennings have the best receiving game in 49ers history. And who's the best receiver in 49ers history? Is Jerry Rice. And so he had a game better than Jerry Rice. Like Brock Purdy, again, he's not a crazy athletic stud like Lamar Jackson, like
Right.
Josh Allen. He's not going to get you 100-yard rush in a game, but he can get you 40 yards rushing in a game. And he's a great decision maker. He can make all of his reads within half a second, and he can decide
Right.
which one and fit the ball right where it needs to be. And so, look, he's a top 5 QB to me. I think he proved to people that he can actually do stuff. Colin Cowherd
Yeah.
actually today put him in his top 10, which is nuts for Colin
No
Cowherd
way.
to do. Yeah, he did.
Backwards hat.
Yeah,
Backwards hat and all.
man.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And so, people can come at me and everyone else.
You know what
Brock,
though? But they can't. They can't, Big Z, because it's because well, at some point you have to just acknowledge what. Like I was listening to CBS this week, and I'm not gonna lie to you, low key it pissed me off a little bit because one of the guys on there, and I really like him, Heath. He's awesome. He's one of my favorite guys on CBS. I love him.
Yeah.
But he's sitting there talking about Juwan Jennings, like, this is so upsetting to me because it doesn't make any sense because this is a career 3-reception guy who gets like 30 yards. Like, I just don't understand how it happened. It's obvious how it happened. His name is Brock Purdy. And he kept throwing the ball to freaking Ayuk, and Ayuk couldn't catch it. He's like, I can't keep throwing you the ball. I can't keep depending on you. So I'm going to throw the ball over here to this guy. And this guy's I'm going to make him have the best game of his entire freaking career.
Yep.
Right? And I'm going to put us in a position to win. And I was talking to a couple people this week, and actually the excuses started flowing, right? Well, you know what? I mean, the Rams, he balled against the Rams. I mean, look at what Kyler Murray did against the Rams. I'm like, listen, the Rams lost pieces in that game. Sean McVay is not a slouch. The Rams do not have a bad coaching staff. They just won a Super Bowl 2 years ago, right? The idea that this horrible coaching staff is not reality, right? They were able to adjust with the pieces they have, create a game plan. And outside of Kyron Williams goes full send Super Saiyan, like the dude did a flip. I have never seen a running back do a clean flip. I've seen guys get like hit and flip into the end zone. I've never seen a dude like vault a line, let alone Fred Warner with a front flip. Like, yo, I'm just going to flip over you. Like, I'm not going to jump over. I'm going to flip over you. I mean, Kyron went full send, Superman, super set, whatever you want to call it. That's what it took for the Rams to win this game. I mean, Kyron went to a different planet, Big Z.
Right. And I'd argue with people who say that Kyle Shanahan is one of the best coaches. I think he's a glorified offensive coordinator. I really don't think that Kyle Shanahan is a great head coach because he doesn't pay attention to other things like special teams. We have the worst special teams unit in all of football, and that's why we lost that game.
It's a great point.
That's 100% why we lost that game. And so in Sean McVay, I think he is a top 3 head coach in this league. And people forget, like, he made Jared Goff look amazing. He had Jared Goff getting MVP votes. It's crazy to me how people forget about Sean McVay and his system. And it's never the system with the Rams. It's all about the superstars on that team. No, it's not always that. Like, you can't pick and choose your battles.
Nope.
So you guys have a great coach. And also Matthew Stafford, for him to audible out of so many play calls and say, look at that safeties. They're playing super high up and we're on the 7-yard line about to score here. I'm just going to audible out of this play call and I'm going to let Kyron just run in because there's going to be no one in the box. Like, he did that so many times because he is such a smart quarterback. And so props to you guys. I 100% agree with you that you guys had time to prepare. And that was completely different than the situation they had against the Cardinals. And props to you guys. You guys didn't give up. The Niners, they choked. They choked it out, not offensively, but defensively and on special teams. And if you're going to lose and fail in 2 of the 3 facets of the game, you're going to lose every single game.
100%, dude. 100%. Yeah. I'll tell you what, bright side for you is you're not the Bengals. The Bengals right now, Big Z, are in shambles, right? Everybody was waiting for Jamar Chase and Burrow to come out of the slump, right? That was the thing. Like, oh, well, it's not always going to be this bad. These two are going to figure it out. Well, great news. They did figure it out, and they still lost. And not only did they figure it out, it wasn't like they figured it out against some elite defense, right? Washington is bad. Their defense is really bad. They are not good. Okay. They have made every quarterback they've played going back to last year look like the next Tom Brady. All right. So Joe Burrow, credit to him, he did dice them up. But on the flip side of that, a defense we were not talking about being absolutely awful is the Bengals, and they look equally as bad. They do not look good, man. If you're a Bengals fan, you're in some trouble. The one bright side, if you're a Bengals fan right now, the one thing you're holding on to is that really the only ones who are achieving right now are the Steelers. The Steelers are playing good football. Mike Tomlin has those guys rolling. And then you have the Browns, the Steelers, and the Ravens all struggling in that division. So
another shout out to another great coach, Mike Tomlin. Like I remember
he does his thing.
We talked about this last year. Like, and again, like people will make fun of us, but like Mike Tomlin is a great coach.
He wins games.
He's been there for a long time. Like he has those guys. You have 3 touchdowns on the season, and you are 3-0. Like that's a testament to the head coach. Going back to the Bengals, if they lose this week, you need to trade T. Higgins or Jamar Chase. It's time. Like you're 0-4, you gotta do it. Right.
Against Carolina, you got to. I mean, I know the Red Rocket just came out and put on a show against the Raiders.
Right.
Like we all saw it, and it showed that this coaching staff ultimately did make the right decision on some level for their team.
Yeah.
Moving on from Bryce Young, because hey, the proof is in the pudding. They won a game. Other guys are building confidence, and hopefully Bryce is now going to learn from Andy Dalton, the veteran, and maybe he can come back. And they didn't waste that pick. That's got to be what they're hoping. But yeah, they have to pull this out. This is a must-win game for them.
I know, man. It truly is. And it's kind of like, I don't know why Joe Burrow gets all these passes. Like, people are like, oh, yeah, he's so good. He's so good. But like, I don't know. He never starts a season off well. He never does. It's astounding to me. And on the flip side, Jaden Daniels, like, I think you and I called this. Jaden Daniels looked like a stud that game. 21 of 23. 2 touchdowns, also a rushing touchdown. And then just having the confidence in himself and also Terry McLaurin to seal the deal on the 4th down up by 5.
Yeah.
On the road and just throw up a 40-yard bomb in the corner of the end zone. And my gosh.
In stride.
That amazed me. And he is so far ahead of Caleb Williams right now, in my opinion. Like just in sheer talent and also in confidence as well. That team is believing in themselves, and I love it. This is why I think if Caleb Williams went to this team, I think they'd be even better because there's an actual coaching staff here. And again, we talked about it. Situation matters where you're drafted. And so we'll see how it plays out. But Jaden Daniels, man, I think he's going to win Rookie of the Year. 100%.
He looks fantastic.
Yeah, he does.
You can't take anything away from him. He looks great. And it really does feel like this coaching staff is building around him.
Yes.
That they're enabling him to rush. That they're saying, you know what, dude, you want to rush? Go rush. You don't want to throw 100 times? Don't throw 100 times. We'll give the ball to Brian Robinson. We'll give the ball to Austin Eckler. Shout out to Austin Eckler. Before the injury was a bummer. He looked like he was playing a really great game. Goes out, unfortunately, what appears to be a concussion.
Yeah.
But Brian Robinson having a big year, letting this guy just play his game, do his thing, and really, I mean, if we're gonna talk about Caleb Williams, I mean, this last week, man, watching him and Anthony Richardson, it looked like 2 quarterbacks deciding who wanted to lose more.
Yeah.
I mean, both guys just look, and Caleb, I don't want to hear these, like, up till now, the excuse has been that he hasn't had time. He had time. Now, again, I think Caleb's going to be fine. I think he's going to be fine. Do I think he's this generational talent that everybody said? No. No, he's not, but he's going to be fine. And as long as you bring those expectations to the Bears, you're going to be fine, right? As long as you can realize he probably is a starting QB, but he's not going to get you. He's not going to get you over the hump by himself. They need an offensive line. They have plenty of weapons. They got a lot to figure out in Chicago as well, Big Z. That was a great point. Great point.
But that's the problem with them. Like they're treating him like the second coming of.
Oh no!
Michael
I mean
Jordan.
that's what. Well, even fantasy guys. I mean, we didn't, right? We sat here and we told you right? People were going out and getting, oh, DJ Moore must draft, right? Odunze, he's going to be a stud. Keenan Allen, he's a dog. How could this not work? And me and you sat here and told everybody, listen, this is a rookie quarterback with way too many weapons. And I think the closest guys to us were the ballers who were saying, oh, well, with all these weapons, somebody, like at least one guy is not going to work out. And they were trying to figure out who that one guy was. And me and you were sitting here saying that none of them might work out. Right? Like none of these guys may work out. And I mean, I know if you're a DJ Moore guy, if you love DJ Moore, outside of a garbage halftime Hail Mary that got deflected and hit into his hands.
Right.
I mean, that day is terrible. Right. Terrible.
Yeah, it is.
So,
and yeah, all this against like the Colts defense, like the worst defense, one of the worst defenses in the league. I mean, hey, power to you. Power to you.
Hey, sometimes though, I at the very least get things wrong. I thought the Vikings could be fine. We sat here and talked about Sam Darnold being a decent quarterback, that he was the backup for the Niners, that he's fine. I didn't think they'd be this good. I'm not going to lie. I mean, and their defense, it's not even necessarily like their offense is fine. Their offense is good. Don't get me wrong. Sam Darnold's doing everything he needs to do to win these games. Justin Jefferson is just constantly open. Justin Jefferson reminding everybody, right? We're also talking about CeeDee Lamb, and I think there is still conversation between him and maybe like a CeeDee Lamb or guys like that. We can throw different guys, Nico Collins. We can throw different guys into that conversation. But Justin Jefferson just reminding everybody, look, I'm elite. You can make your whole game plan about me, and it will not matter, man. I'm gonna find ways to get open. I'm gonna find pockets. I'm gonna find space. You're not gonna be able to stop me. And that's exactly what we're seeing. Then the defensive side of the ball. I mean,
it's just
Texans look discombobulated. We didn't think there's any way that any team would shut down these three receivers between Diggs, Dell, and Collins, and they did. And by the way, Collins still got his in fantasy, so that shows the eliteness there. But we didn't think this was going to happen. Certainly not like this, and sure enough, it has. So,
yeah, I mean, as a Niner fan, it makes me feel better that we lost them by what 7 points. Like,
right.
It was a close game on the road too. So, yeah, man, like it just Sam Darnold found a home. Like I think I talked about it on YouTube on a short or something. But like, what does this do with the JJ McCarthy thing? Like, what if Sam Darnold is like a top 3 vote getter in the MVP? Like, do you re-sign him, or do you just kind of like let him go and sign a big deal somewhere else and just let JJ develop? Because I mean, it's a good problem to have, but the dude looks like a stud. Like he looks like he finally found a situation that matches his skill set and a coach that's willing to play towards his talents, right, and his skill set,
right.
And so, we'll see at the end of the season. But man, they look good. And Brian Flores, that defensive coordinator, just has that defense doing things like that we haven't seen from a defense in a long time.
Right.
And so shout out to that whole squad, man. Like they just look confident. They look good. And I'm excited to see where we're going to take them. They play the Packers this week. And so that's a good divisional game, a good test. Jordan Love may be back. And so we'll see how they do there, but man, they look good.
I'm not going to lie. Unlike the Falcons, I actually think this works. Sam Darnold, you signed him to a 3-4 year deal. JJ McCarthy is only 21 years old.
Right.
So you are going to have to figure out the contract thing because you did sign him in the first round. So he is going to want that money on some level. But if you can work it out with him to say, like, look, this is what's best for your development. Sit here and grow. You're only 21 years old. You will be our starter by the time you're 24, 25 years old. We're going to let Sam Darnold come in. He looks fantastic. He's the MVP. And you're going to learn from him. This actually works. Unlike the Falcons, who got a Penix, who's significantly older. He's already 24, right? And so that was kind of the issue we had with that. If you go get a 21-year-old, I have no qualms with this. By the way, real quick side note, time out on this. Watching Shohei Ohtani, regardless of your view on the Dodgers, regardless of your view on who your favorite team is, I think the entire world at this point can admit that Shohei Ohtani is a very special player. He's probably once in a lifetime with some of the things he can do, right?
Oh, he is. He is once in a lifetime.
100%. And watching him get to put on an NL West division winner shirt.
Yeah.
You just see the excitement coming from an Angels team that, I mean, finished, just did everything in their power to finish sub 500, to not sniff the playoffs, of two of the greatest players on the planet. Shout out to Mike Trout. Just awesome to watch him celebrate. Well-deserved Shohei, the leader of this Dodger team. So
Boom.
had to throw that in there.
I love it.
Had to throw that in there. Let's move along, Big Z. Week 4. Week 4 coming up, man. We got some big matchups. Sunday night. Sunday night is killing the game, man.
I know,
Buffalo,
always.
Baltimore. So Buffalo has proven all the haters wrong, including myself. I think I had to take for the season that Josh Allen was headed for a cliff, that I didn't see any way that he was going to be able to keep his stardom or his stats or whatever it is growing. And he's not throwing for 1,000,000 yards like he was last year. I'm not going to lie to you. But man, he is winning games. And he had a quote today, right? We all saw the quote. It's nice having a team that no one's concerned with stats. We're just concerned with wins. Makes it easy, man. So he is loving this team. He is the clear-cut leader on this team. He is the alpha. There's only one, and it's him. And they're doing great. So, and then they're playing obviously a Baltimore team that's reeling a little bit. You know, they got a big win last week over the Cowboys.
Yep.
But you know, they want to get right. They need to get right. Really, the window's open right now. So
yeah, they're playing in Baltimore too. So I think that's a good test for both teams to kind of see like where they're at.
Yep.
I don't know. It's a tough one to pick, man. I think that the Ravens are better than their 1-2 record suggests for sure.
Oh yeah.
But Josh Allen, like you said, he has his team just playing on all cylinders right now, right? And so like they're playing at the highest of levels. And it just shows you like, man, the dude, he can transform into whatever they need him to transform into.
Yeah.
Like if he has to run, he's going to run. If he has to freaking throw the ball 50 yards down the field, he's going to do that. But I think the difference this year, between this year and the last few years, is that he's taking care of the ball. He's not turning the ball over. He's not being reckless with it. Not just holding on to the ball with one arm when he's running. Like he's doing things to protect it. And that's obviously creating no turnover or not creating turnovers. And they're able to get at least some points on the board if they're not able to get touchdowns. So yeah, I think that's a big thing in his a step of maturity. And as a leader this year is that, you know, he's keeping the ball on their side of the field. So it's going to be a good game, man. Lamar Jackson has a lot to prove for sure. Like he's definitely under fire right now.
And really, I don't think here's the bottom line. It's expected, and the Ravens should make the playoffs. Okay, with this lineup, you look at Flowers, and they go out and they get King Henry. Right, they got better from last year to this year. That's what everybody's saying. They do need to figure out the whole Mark Andrews thing. That's kind of crazy. Mark Andrews is like just non-existent. Like him and Kelsey just like got together this summer. Like, hey, you want to do a magic trick? We're both going to disappear in week 1.
They got like, likely.
Yeah,
he's likely to get more snaps.
There you go. Boom. Hey-yo. So, you know, they're expecting to make the playoffs. I don't know if he can answer some of those questions before the postseason, because I'm not gonna lie, that's the biggest thing for me is I want to see what he does in the postseason at this point. But it's going to be a big game regardless. We already talked about the Carolina and the Bengals. You know, the Red Rockets out here. He's just having fun. That's what's dangerous about these wily vets, man.
I mean, they're just out there having fun last year.
Yep,
right? With the Browns, just like
who cares?
Nothing to lose.
Yeah,
like,
you throw 10 interceptions. Who cares? You ain't looking to keep your job. There ain't no tomorrow.
Cool. Awesome. No problem.
This is like the real life replacements with Keanu Reeves. Like this guy comes in, Andy Dalton, and he's freaking Keanu Reeves. That's right? Like they're not playing for nothing. You know? It's like, hey, dude, doesn't matter. I'm just playing to win. That's it.
Right.
I'm not playing for tomorrow. I don't care about it. I'll tell you what, Caleb Williams, big game. Big game. I'm a Rams fan. It's going to sound like I'm slandering the Rams. Listen, great win against the Niners. Kyron found a way. Sean McVay, great coach. So he's always going to give us a chance. We are still half a team. I mean, we are riddled with injuries. Our defense is nothing special right now. This needs to be a get right game for Caleb Williams.
Yeah.
Right. He's gotta take advantage of this game right now. We just saw, and it wasn't like this crazy. I'm not calling for some sort of crazy game. You know, like we just saw with Bo Nix. Right. Bo Nix has looked absolutely awful up till this last week. Really just is even going to be able to keep his starting job. And then he finally takes on a defense that's a little bit subpar.
Right.
You know, and he gets it done against the Bucks. Right. And so this is the very similar for Caleb Williams against a depleted Rams defense with the weapons he has. Right. This is not Brock Purdy going in with half a receiver. Right. Like Jamal Jennings, no one had heard of that guy. Okay. Like you did because you were a Niner fan and you watched him ball out in the Super Bowl a little bit. And you're like, this guy could be
I
special.
got him in the offseason.
Exactly.
I did in fantasy.
Exactly.
That's right.
But again, outside of you, outside of Niners fans, who knew who this guy was? Nobody. Right.
Yeah.
And so, but this is not the scenario for Caleb. He's going in there with DJ Moore. He's going in there with all these weapons that we've all talked about. We've already mentioned all their names. It's time. It's time now, Big Z.
It's time for him to take a step forward, to grow up a little bit, and to take some accountability for some bad throws and some losses, because it still doesn't look like he is. It still looks like he's still in his USC days and going to his mom in the stands for her to shadow him, be like, it's okay, you're gonna be okay, you're the best guy on the team, blah 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 blah. Like, you're grown up, man. You're the number 1 overall pick. Show everyone why you're the number 1 overall pick. I'm tired of the excuses from this guy and from everyone else, all the media sources, just piling behind him. It's like, it's okay, we're going to still prop you up. Bro, come on, grow up. Let's go.
By the way, I know it's early, but shout out Jason Sherman, Washington Commanders, first in the NFC East, the team that Jason was not worried about at all. They were not going to win any games. They are so bad. Yet here they are, 3 games in. All right, I'm just saying, throwing it out there. And then finally wrapping it up next week with like the big game that we're looking forward to. Seattle and Detroit, man. It's time to find out how real this Seattle team is. They've been rolling. They look fantastic. I think if you're a Seattle fan, you're really hoping that Kenneth Walker's back for this one.
Yeah, their defense. I think their defense is key, man. Like, their new coach is he was the defensive coordinator from the Ravens last year. And you can tell the Ravens are kind of missing him on the defensive side of the ball.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm not going to say like this is a new Legion of Boom in Seattle, because that'd be disrespectful to the original Legion of Boom. But they look good.
Yeah.
And that's what that whole team is built around. And they're giving Geno Smith enough time, like enough possessions to go score, because they're just getting takeaways, and after takeaway, and stopping teams from scoring. So that's what I think that their mindset is defense first, offense second. Geno Smith is good enough to take care of the ball.
Yeah.
Get the field goals when they need to, get some touchdowns. They have the weapons in DK Metcalf. I think this is the team that is going to, in my opinion, challenge the Niners for the NFC West. This is the team. And so we're definitely gonna see them be tested in Detroit this Monday night. And last year they beat Detroit in overtime. And so we'll kind of see how it goes this year. But like you said, I think Kenneth Walker is huge. I think Charbonnet, his time is done. I think that Detroit has a good enough defense to stop him, but Kenneth Walker is on another level when it comes to between them two. And so if he's back, it opens up so much more on the offensive side of the ball. Play action, DK Metcalf gets open, Lockett, all that stuff. And so, we'll see. We'll definitely see. I think the game is dependent, though, if Walker comes back or not.
I mean, you're talking about teams that Buffalo Bills 3-0, Steelers 3-0, Kansas City 3-0, the Vikings 3-0, and of course the Seahawks 3-0. This is one of the last undefeated teams. We're going to see what time it is, right? Lions are 2-1. They had a pretty weird loss, right? They had a really close game against a healthy Rams team. We're going to see. We're going to see how this goes. They did beat the tar out of the Cardinals, rightfully so. But we're going to see how this one goes. This is going to be interesting. And I know the Seahawks, their pride and joy is those 3 cornerbacks they got over there. So we're going to see how they match up with Williams, Amon-Ra St. Brown, and obviously how they're going to figure out Sam Laporta while also figuring out Jahmyr Gibbs and Monty. Going to have to figure all that out. It's going to be interesting. I got to say, though, Big Z, what's really intriguing to me is that when you look at these teams, especially these 3-0 teams, like Josh Allen, he's killing the game. Don't get me wrong, right? He's killing the game. The Steelers are 3-0. Give me a must start on the Steelers. I mean, really. I think Pickens could figure it out. Maybe. Kansas City, maybe. Rashee Rice, automatic start, right?
100%.
And then the Seahawks, I think you're starting Metcalf just based on his name, Kenneth Walker just based on his name. It's sort of crazy when you consider the Kansas City Chiefs are 3-0, and you listen to any fantasy podcast right now, and they're saying trade Patrick Mahomes. It's just an interesting observation how little it seems that fantasy football has to do with success in the NFL, right? Like, isn't there a
Zero.
little party that's like, because right now, if you're outside of the injury, if you're talking about elite receivers that you want on your team, you're talking about a guy from one of the worst teams in the league in neighbors, right?
Right.
No, nobody's
Right.
expecting the Giants to compete. They're not going to
Marvin
compete with this
Harrison.
division.
Right.
Marvin Harrison, same thing.
Yeah, I think the only one really is out of that list that you gave is Rashid Rice. I mean, he's playing like a top
Yes.
three
Yep.
receiver in NFL and in fantasy football. Like
Yep.
he's so good.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Like we forgot how Patrick Mahomes looks with the number one receiver. Like because when he had Tyreek Hill,
Yep.
that's how it looked, right? And so yeah, but other than that, like no, I'm not starting any of those guys
No.
in my league. I'm not drafting those guys in my league.
Nope.
So besides Rasheed Rice. So yeah, man, it is crazy how different it is when you're creating a fantasy team as opposed to like actual real football. It's crazy though, man. It's I have a few shares of Rasheed Rice in my league, so I'm pretty pumped about that.
Oh, same, dude. I have him in a few leagues, and then of course, hey, we told you before the season, do not ignore the obvious, right? Do not look at what could be and value that over what you've seen, right? And the example we used was Saquon Barkley, right?
Yes.
Everybody's saying, "Oh, this guy could be the next Saquon Barkley." You know what's more valuable than this guy could be the new Saquon Barkley? Saquon Barkley. He is
Right.
who he is, right?
Yep.
So always value that. Keep that in mind. For that reason, Big Z and I are doing pretty well, I think. Fantasy,
Yeah.
we got a big matchup this week. You're already ahead. Daniel Jones let me down. I've been streaming quarterbacks, even though it's
Well,
dynasty. I've
you're
been switching
technically
around.
ahead. You're technically ahead 10-0 because I have more people going, but you're ahead. You're ahead.
I did it. I'm out in front.
I
Yeah,
am worried though. Devonta Smith concussion. I don't know if he's actually playing or not. So that
yeah.
could hurt me. That could really hurt me.
Hey, I got a tight end for you whenever you're ready. No, you got McBride. You got what's his name, don't you?
Bowers.
Bowers. That guy's a
Yeah.
dog. Talk about dogs. That guy's a dog.
Yeah. He's
That guy's really, really good. The moment we've been waiting for, Big Z. I'm not gonna lie, we got through the NFL pretty quick because we need to talk about a Big Z. MLB. Oh my gosh, people! If you can't hear it in my voice, I almost sound constipated. You have to understand, guys. This is the roller coaster. If you're on YouTube, we're doing the MLB roller coaster, playoff roller coaster. It's going down. You're going left to right to left. Teams you never thought would make it are dancing. We're talking about the Tigers, Big Z. The Tigers are dancing, Big Z.
The Tigers.
They're dancing.
The Royals. What is going on? Oh my gosh. This is why baseball is awesome. Look at this. Okay. The AL Central, 4 of the 5 teams are still in the playoff hunt. The Twins haven't been mathematically eliminated. They're pretty much eliminated, but they're still technically in the hunt. But 4 of those 5 teams, the only other team in that division is the Chicago White Sox, who has 120 losses.
Ouch.
But shout out to them because they just swept the Angels, their first sweep since April. So that just makes you feel great as an Angels fan. But I was watching a little bit of the Tigers game today, and just to see that stadium packed, everyone on their feet for a afternoon game on a Thursday,
Wild.
is just amazing. Like that brings you back to the days like Prince Fielder was on the team and Scherzer and Verlander and Torrey Hunter, like when the Tigers were good, And so it's awesome that they stuck with their young guys. AJ Hinch, we don't like him because he was an Astros manager, but dude, it shows that he can manage, right? And so to get these guys to, just kind of buy into what he wants to do is pretty a testament to how good he is as a manager. So I'm super happy for them, those fans. And then the Royals again, I'm so stoked because they had 56 wins last year and they have 85 right now and they're about to clinch. So baseball, man, I can't wait till the wild card series start. I'm so excited.
Next Tuesday, Big
baby.
Z.
Yeah.
It all starts going down. So all starts going down. Houston Astros, boo, boo. They win their division yet again. We wanted to root for the good guys like the Rangers and the Mariners. They just were not up to the task.
Nope.
The Central sending 3 teams. It's basically set in stone. Kansas City, Detroit, Cleveland Guardians, and then of course the Yankees and the Orioles coming from the actual East. Coming over to the National League side, the Phillies have clinched up. The East and the West over here are just equally interesting. So in the East, you got Philadelphia, you got the New York Mets, and you got the Atlanta Braves. Right? The Central, the Brewers are the only ones who made it. Right, that's it. So they're equivalent to the West in the AL. But then in the West, in the NL, the National League West, you got the Dodgers who just clinched the division again. If you didn't somehow hear that, Dodgers clinched the division again, haters. And then, of course, you got the Padres and the Diamondbacks who are in the hunt. Here's what's really interesting about this, Big Z. The Diamondbacks are playing the Padres. They got a 3-game set. This is huge, Big Z. This is huge.
And the Padres clinched a spot. So it makes you think because they're 3 games back of the Phillies too. So are they really going to catch up to them like for seeding purposes? Actually, I don't think they can because they can't actually because the Phillies won the division. So I think they probably just rest their guys, right? I don't know, but it's a divisional matchup. So you take pride in those divisional matchups. So
somewhere Braves fans are screaming at you to be wrong because the Braves, who saw this coming? I mean, we have been on this podcast going all the way back a few years. We have been proponents of the way the Braves organization is run. You look top to bottom. They have some of the best pitchers in the game. They have some of the best hitters in the game.
Yeah.
The way they locked up their future. I mean, they're going to be good next year. They're always going to be good. But just something did not click this year.
I mean, but like just the National League though, man. I mean, the Braves are 86 and 71. I mean, they're 15 games above 500.
Yeah.
If you look on the flip side, the wild card for the American League, it's 11 games, 7 games. Like it's
right.
The National League is good, man. Like you're talking about, like, I think this is a better league this year. It's really rare, but the National League is full of a lot of great teams. And the Braves just got unlucky, but they could still make it. But them and the Mets, they had some weather issues because of that hurricane. And so they had to play a doubleheader on Monday before
they're going to be huge.
Tuesday before the wild card starts. And I think that's probably going to decide who's going to make that to get that last seed in the playoffs in the wild card. So it's going to be crazy.
So if you're the Diamondbacks, literally, you just need to stay within a game. That's your goal going to this weekend. At minimum, just stay within a game of the race. That's got to be your goal. Oh, it's going to come down to the wire. Big Z, let's do it. We have to do this, even though nothing is set in stone. Here we go. All right, so we'll start in the NL because it's a little more complicated. We'll move over to the AL because it's a little more interesting. All right, so on this side of the bracket in the NL, right, I'm looking right now. You're looking at the postseason picture, okay? You got the Brewers, you got the Dodgers, you got the Phillies. Those are locked in, right? The Phillies and the Dodgers all but secured a bye already. So those teams, unless something crazy happens in Colorado, actually, no, the Dodgers secured the bye. So, yeah, the Phillies and Dodgers secured the bye. They won their divisions. So now the Brewers are going to be the 3rd seed. So they are going to play starting on Tuesday. Now, they are going to get the lowest seed. So they are either going to get the Diamondbacks, the Mets, or the Braves.
Yeah.
Unless, again, here is the thing. Here is something that the Padres do need to play for. Although the Padres cannot catch the Phillies, I believe, yes, they are 3 games up on the Mets, 3 games up on the Diamondbacks. So if they were to get swept, it is conceivable that they would move to the other side of the bracket to play the Brewers. Maybe that's the reason they play. I don't know. Maybe they want to stay away from the Brewers. Maybe they want to play against the other wild card.
I don't know. They're 3.5 up on them. So I don't know if they can even move down, to be honest.
No,
because they're 3. But it does. Yeah, I don't know, man. I guess, the Brewers would probably play either the Diamondbacks. Well, I don't know. I mean, I guess out of the 3, the Mets, Diamondbacks, or Braves, who do you think the Brewers would rather play?
Ooh, if I am, man, if I'm the Brewers, personally, I'm rooting to play the Diamondbacks. I know for a long time they were the hottest team in baseball, but you've got to think the Diamondbacks have been struggling. They have not maintained their heat. They have been fine, but for a long time they were considered one of the hottest teams in baseball. And now if you look at their most recent split, right, they're 5-5. Like they're playing 500 baseball over the last 10 games. If I'm the Brewers, I want the Diamondbacks. What about you?
I'm taking the Braves. I think it's the Braves. If they make it, it's just not their year. Too many injuries, just too much negativity around the locker room. I feel like I'm going with the Braves. I think they take that series against the Braves.
All right. So the Brewers, you got the Brewers. I don't know that I see either of those teams beating the Brewers. And on the other side, we could have a pretty interesting matchup. I'm not gonna lie, it would be a pretty intriguing matchup if it ended just like it is right now. I
Yeah.
would love to see a Mets Padres series. That would be very intriguing to me.
Oh, that'd be great.
Very intriguing.
It'd be fun. Yeah.
Who would you take? Who would you take in that series?
Mets. Mets.
Yeah, I gotta take the Mets.
Bro, they've been playing on fire since May, like they were just so far back, like that's why they're only a wild card right now. You know?
They're killing it, man.
Yeah.
Differential plus 78, little worse than the Padres, but I mean, hey, that's considering the whole season. Those guys have made a
Right.
real hard charge. I don't think any of them get past Dodgers. Just saying, we're only going over the wild card series. Next week we'll hit you with the actual series once we get some results. Wild card on the American League side. This is all but set in stone. We got Detroit taking on Houston. Dude, I'm taking the underdog. I'm never picking Houston. Houston could be a sure thing. I'm never taking them. Got the Tigers. Got the Tigers. Let's go.
I'm taking the Tigers. And if they play the Royals, I'm taking the Royals. So
Either way, let's go, Bobby Wood. If they play the
Bobby
Royals, let's go,
Wood.
Bobby.
Salvador Perez.
That's right, baby. That's right. That's
That
right.
team
That's
is
right. That's
balling
right.
still, man. He's been on that team for like 15 years, bro.
Yeah, you know what? I'm not gonna lie to you. On the south side of this bracket, I thought somebody that'd be sort of a lock and somebody I would never pick against would be the Orioles. But you look at their last 10 games, 4-6,
Bro, they've been
and they have
struggling.
not been playing well. I think whatever team, if you are the Royals or you are Detroit, you want that fifth seed, man. You want to play this Orioles team, I think.
Right. Yeah, you gotta they lost some Grayson, their pitcher, and that it's really hurt them. It's kind of come back to bite them. They had to DFA Kimbrel because he couldn't close, so he blew a lot of games for them. He had like a 6 ERA. And so yeah, man, they're not playing well. They're kind of slumping at the wrong time. So yeah, if I'm an Oriole fan, bummer.
If you're an Oriole fan, it's a bummer. You heard it here first. We'll give you an update on MLB. Check it out. Last games of this weekend, a lot of big games. A lot of teams are playing. You know the Padres are not just going to lay down. Diamondbacks are fighting to keep the Braves out of it. What's going to happen? We don't know. Jump on that roller coaster. We're here for it. We're watching the roller coaster. And then, of course, F1. I haven't provided an update in a long time. McLaren is actually winning the Constructors' Championship right now as it sits. And their boy, Lando Norris, has officially passed Max Verstappen as the champion driver at the moment. But a lot of people are complaining about this car, Big Z. I'm not going to lie. If you're not into F1, a lot of people are not liking this car. There's been a couple underhanded jokes, a couple underhanded comments about the fact that they are getting DRS all the time, that their back wing seems to pop open the faster they go. A little bit of air breeze, a little bit of air getting through there. Those who don't watch racing, what makes it one of the reasons F1 is so exciting, if a car can get it within a second or two of the car in front of them, that DRS, I believe it's a second, that DRS wing opens up the back wing on that car, that big old wing that sticks out. It actually opens up so that the car that's behind can get a little bit more horsepower going to pass up the car in front of them.
Yeah.
And basically what people are accusing McLaren of, that's happening all the time. Keep your eyes on that. That's going to come down to the wire. And then, of course, Big Z, hockey is back. Now,
Hockey's back.
I'm not going to lie to you. I don't necessarily watch hockey like I do MLB. I don't necessarily watch if I could sit and watch all 162 Dodger games, I'm going to do it. I love watching Dodgers all day long. I'll watch random games. I love watching random baseball games. I watched almost every minute of the Yankee-Baltimore series. That's how I know Baltimore's probably in trouble. Listen, hockey, just get through it, man. Watch it, learn it, love it, because when the playoffs come, there is no playoffs better. No, it's right on par with baseball, right on par with football. Playoff hockey is fantastic, dude. I love it.
Bro, we love it. And you know what I love this year is the Kings and the Ducks logos, like throwbacks. Both of them, dude. Like I saw their logo because they're playing each other, I think, tonight or tomorrow, preseason. But dude, it looks sick, dude. I'm like, okay, all right. You're throwing it back a couple of decades, but I love it. I got into it huge amount last year. Got myself a Panther jersey out of it. So I'm stoked that it's going to come back. Can't wait to tune in. Learn it, guys. Learn the game. It's a fun game.
Opening day, we'll be here with our hockey jerseys on. You'll see it here first. Big Z, this has been fun. Say bye to the people.
people, enjoy baseball, please. We have 3 days left besides the Mondays with the Braves and Mets. But this is the best time of the year. We got the best baseball played all year. Tune in. We love you guys. Hope you have a good weekend.
Check it out. Check it out. Check it out. Thanks for watching. Go check out our YouTube. Go check out our Twitter. Go check out our Instagram. We are posting daily. We are posting regularly. We are responding. We are talking. Go check us out. Brevity Sports. Thanks for listening. Have a great